What's going on, and welcome back to another plate carrier review. And in this video we're going to be going over the S&S Precision plate frame modular. Now this guy is one of the most expensive plate carriers on the market. It is going to cost you roughly around $1,200 just for the plate frame modular itself. No accessories, no pouches, nothing else. It's going to cost you a pretty penny. Now, they do have a military and law enforcement discount. It does make a little bit of a difference, but you still pay a lot for it. This is actually the second one that I've purchased. I've had a green one, or the Toad Vine, which is their version of kind of an OD green / Ranger green, and I've been running that for about a year and a half now, and I use that for more civilian clothes and nighttime type of operations and doing all that type of stuff. This one is more for operational use, more overt stuff, wearing multicams, and you could say more general purpose in certain aspects. With that, when it comes to the actual mission sets that I think that this thing actually falls into, whether it's land, sea, or air, I think it is very specific to maritime, free fall, and then also direct action and hostage rescue mission sets and operations. It is very small, it is very low profile. It doesn't fall into that low vis or concealment category in my opinion. I think it's more of an overt system across the board, but it is very, very low profile. So you don't have a whole lot of space to work with, but when it comes to the innovation side and how S&S Precision is kind of innovating the industry with this and taking things to the next level, the next generation, this thing definitely sets itself apart from all the other plate carriers on the market. And I've ran a ton in the past. I've ran the IOTVs and the plate carriers that the regular Army and the conventional units in the military get issued. I've ran the old Eagle Industry systems, and then I've also ran all of the Cry Precision stuff from the JPC Gen 1 and Gen 2, the AVS, the CPC. I've played around with the Airlight, the SPC, and then I've played around with also the Faro Concept Slickster. I have a buddy that has the Faro Concept or Salter plate carrier that they have, which is very similar to this in certain aspects, and is also innovating the industry in its own way. And then I've played around with a handful of other stuff that I know people have, like HRT, Direct Action Gear, and a few other companies that are out there. All of those companies build a phenomenal product, but I definitely think S&S Precision is leading the way in the innovation side of the industry with this system. And when I say that innovation side, what I specifically mean is the Kydex and carbon fiber frame that this entire thing is made of, and how the strap system that runs all the way around this entire plate carrier pinches that plate into place and keeps it nice and tight. And then you have these E-buckles for donning and doffing your plate carrier, and they also act as a cutaway system, so you don't have a complex system that's weaved through the front of your plate carrier, through your shoulder strap, into the cummerbunds. You just hit these E-buckle clips, it falls right off, and you're completely out of the plate carrier. And then in conjunction with that, you also have the hydrophobic material or fabric. It's kind of a PVC material or fabric that they run in their shoulder straps, the drag handle, and then also your cummerbund, and then almost every single accessory that you can get for the plate frame directly from S&S Precision has that same material for both these back panels as well as all of their pouches. And then on the interior of this, both on the front and back of the plate frame, you have this foam liner system that both is for comfort as well as, in my opinion, kind of a trauma pad in the event of a bullet impact hitting that plate. So it does protect you and give you that little bit of added protection on the interior of it. And then the carbon fiber system itself and the cummerbund definitely feels very form-fitting. There's an auto adjusting system. It's just a bungee system on the interior of your cummerbund that will adjust and auto fit to your body. And then in conjunction with all that carbon fiber, it is kind of a weight distribution system. So putting this on, it feels very, very comfortable, and it feels like the weight of the entire plate carrier is distributed through your entire upper torso, not just isolated on your shoulders. So it is incredibly comfortable when it comes down to it. So I'll have a separate video on how to specifically set these up with plates and how they're inserted into the system. There is a plate sock that you can purchase from S&S Precision that goes around the plate. I would highly recommend that you purchase that. It's going to protect the plate from your standard wear and tear from training and operations. and prevent you from, or just increase the lifespan of that plate. So I'd highly recommend that. It'll be a separate video that I go over how to set up the plates in this system though. So with that, it does come in, I believe, 3 colors. You have Toad Vine, Coyote Brown, and then I believe black. And then it also comes in multicam as well. So you have some options as far as colors go. There are some different cummerbund sizes that you do need to be cognizant of, and they are specific to pretty much your torso size. So do be cognizant of that. The other thing that you do need to be cognizant of is, or I don't really need to say cognizant, more just aware of, when it comes to the strap system that you run through that's ran through the entire plate frame itself, it can be adjusted for almost every single plate that's on the market. Now there are some elongated plates that you do have to purchase a specific version of this for, but when it comes to just your standard ESAPI cut plates or swimmer plates, it can take almost any single plate that's on the market, no matter what the thickness of that plate is. So the dimensions for the most part are all the same: small, medium, large, extra large. But when it comes to thickness, this will take almost every single plate that's out there. So I think that is a huge plus for this system, so that way you don't have to be cognizant of what size and what's the thickness of my plate. It will accept pretty much everything. So with this system though, I run the Velocity system plates that they have, and it keeps everything really, really lightweight. So with that, I'm going to go over the entire system top to bottom, so that way you can see what's going on, how it's all put together and configured for the most part, and then hopefully help you determine whether or not this is a plate carrier that you want to purchase, or if you want to go with something else because the price tag is just too high. So personally for me, I think the price tag is perfect for what it is. I mean, this whole entire system is completely outside the box and innovated in almost every single way. So with that, I'll start with the back section. I'll pull all this stuff out of the way so that way you can see what's going on. When it comes to the plate, what would be the plate pockets or the sections of the plate frame, you have your exterior Kydex and your interior carbon fiber. So this is going to pinch that plate into place. Your shoulder straps just unvelcro from themselves, and then you can make adjustments with these 2 tabs or strap extensions. You can make all of your adjustments right there, and those just unvelcro. You make your adjustment and then velcro everything back in place. There is plenty of space on these shoulder straps to where you can run cabling and all of that through here. And one cool thing with the nylon system or strap that runs all the way around the exterior, you can weave cables through that and help keep things nice and tight and close to the kit, so that way you don't have anything hanging off. So I do really like that about this system. You can molly all sorts of pouches into the back sections of these. Currently on the green one that I have pictures on Instagram, I do have everything mollied straight into this. The back panels, like this one right here, this is actually for my green one. I'll end up putting all of those pouches on these back panels, and then I'll weave my antennas and cables all through this back section. I'll just use hair ties, or I would recommend just using hair ties, because then it makes it really easy to run those cables where you want them and keep everything nice and tight to your kit. But I would highly recommend getting these back panels with your system, just to help give you a more modular system. So both the shoulder straps are the exact same. There isn't any difference with them. The interior of the shoulder straps is this kind of elastic Under Armour-ish type material. Really comfortable. I don't have any issues with that at all. Your drag handle is up top here, and then your cummerbund is all right here at the bottom. Now this on the interior is how you open these up. So when you open this up, it's going to unvelcro from itself, and then your entire bungee system is going to run on the interior of this. I'm not going to get too into how all this is set up, but it's essentially how this looks. And then you just have your carbon fiber section of the cummerbund that runs all the way through. You have MOLLE on either side of this, so you do have the ability to run pouches both on the interior and the exterior of your cummerbund, so that makes it really nice for carrying whatever equipment that you want. And then you have your E-buckles on the ends of these as well. So When it comes to the interior of this, you do have your foam liner. When taking this off, I would just be careful. You can actually separate the foam from the Velcro. It doesn't happen very often, but if you just try and rip this off real quick, you can rip that apart. So be careful about that. And then on the interior of this, you're going to have your strap system, which is going to pinch your plates into place. So you have a lot of extra material to be able to size this to whatever plate that you have and the thickness of that plate, and you just pull this up. It'll loosen this up. You pull that strap or this nylon strap all the way through, loosen it all the way up because it ends right here, starts right here, or it starts right here, and then your running end runs all the way through this and tightens up on this side. You'll just loosen all the way up to your start points and then slide your plate in. So I'll do that in a separate video though, so that way you can see how that all goes together. But that is the back section when it comes down to it. You got this little bit of Velcro, put that right back over there. So that way it holds that strap into place and you're good to go. Put that back together. And then your foam liner just sits right back on top. Now I like running the air armor vents with this system. I actually run them in the plate sock with the plate just to give it a little bit more comfort. I shouldn't say comfort. It gives you just a little bit of extra trauma protection. And then I'm hoping that armor vent makes another version of those armor vents to where it's a little bit larger bubble, so that way it gives the plate carrier some buoyancy, but we'll see. I think I have the air inflated ones right now and they're absolutely incredible. I've used the foam ones in the past and those foam ones are actually kind of like identical to this. It's just a covered system, so you don't see the foam. So moving on, we have the front plate. So the front plate is pretty much the same. There's a few minor differences. You have a little bit of MOLLE here on the sides, so if you want to run your radios and front load them, you can. I find these exceptionally well set up, or how low profile these things are. The way these wings are set up, they're great for ham radios and really small radios. They fit really well when all of this system is connected and put together. So I throw smaller radios up front here if I have them. You have the male portion of these E-buckles on the bottom. The female version is up top, and then all that just Velcros into place. You have your strap system that's going to run all the way around like the back section. And then you have your foam liner on the interior as well. And then the straps like the back are the exact same on the front. You have your start points, and then they weave all the way through, and then you can make all of your adjustments as needed for the plate sizes that you're running, or the thickness of the plate that you're running. So really isn't a whole lot of difference when it comes to the front and the back. They're pretty much identical, minor things. But with the plate frame, I would highly recommend, like I said before, get the plate socks because it helps protect the plate. You can run the plates in here without them. I just advise against it because you can damage the plate. So that's going to be the front section. And then when it comes to these back panels, I'm still really new to these back panels. I haven't seen these except for today. This is the first time that I've seen the back panels in person. So I'm still trying to figure these things out and how they're set up on the kit. But you have a carbon fiber interior to help give it some structure, and then you have Velcro on the bottom, so that will just Velcro into the interior of the foam system, and then you have carbon fiber tabs up on the top that, from what I've gathered, just tuck right in behind the exterior of the plate frame, and then I think they just slide right in into this main compartment right here, so, or slot I should say. So it is pretty simple to set these up when it comes down to it. You just have to take the time to set everything up. It is a little time extensive when it comes to setting up this entire kit. You do want to MOLLE all of your, if you're going to run this without any back panels, you want to MOLLE everything into this before you put the plate in there. You can't really add pouches to this when the plate is in there because of how tight everything can get. So I would highly recommend, if you're going to run anything on the back section or on the front section, molly everything into first and then put your plate in, so that way everything's nice and tight and nothing is going to move around on you. So when all of this is put together though, this is what it looks like. You just buckle your shoulder straps in, and then your cummerbund. And then you're good to go. So this has its own structure. It's going to sit and stand on its own, and it will look roughly like that when it's all put together. Now, I don't have any pouches on this because I wanted you to specifically to see what this looks like as it stands and sits on its own, straight out of the box. So there are a few other things that I'll talk about in the future videos. I do think this system is incredible. Like I said, I've been running it for about 1.5 years now, and I still run some of the other systems that I have. I still run the AVS periodically to compare systems. I still run the Tier Tactical that I have. I love that system as well. I actually still need more of that traditional setup for some of the stuff that we do, or that I do when it comes to training and operations and all of that. So this is just one of the more innovative systems that I can set up, have a permanent setup, and then swap out the back panels as needed for different types of mission sets. I have 2 panels. I have one for general use, direct action stuff, and then I have one for Seaburn. So I have the ability to switch things up and change things up as needed, but it's really going to depend on what you want to set up and how you want to set up based off of your mission, operational environment, and position. Just know that this is a little bit more permanent setup. It's time consuming when it comes to setting one of these up compared to just a standard molly system where you can just pull the molly real quick, pull that pouch off, and then molly something else in its place, or just run a Velcro systems. I don't recommend running a Velcro system on this. Even if you want to throw Velcro on here, it just won't hold like your other plate carriers will with a Velcro cummerbund. So with that, I really don't have anything else. I don't want this video to get too long. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll answer any questions that you have. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.